Hey, what's up, world? And welcome to the very first episode of We Do Lines, presented by KCP Commercial. I'm your host, CT, part owner and CEO of KCP Commercial. Um, Wanted to start this episode off, or start this series off with letting you guys in on who KCP Commercial is, how we got started, our services that we offer, and the things that we do. I want to talk from everything from striping to entrepreneurship to health and wellness. I just want to cover all bases with this. So let's go ahead and dive in. Let's just get straight to it and talk about KCP Commercial and how we started and how we got to where we are now. So let's first, start from the beginning. But before we do that, I am going to tell you just a little bit of my background and my history. I am a former Marine of 6.5 years. When I got out the Marine Corps in 2002, I lived in Los Angeles for quite a while, for a few years or so, and that's when I got into sales. So I do have a background in sales since 2003, so that is a little bit over 20 years. So got into sales, did that, loved it, loved talking with people, loved making relationships, because that is the key to, in my opinion, a good way to market. That's free marketing, is creating a relationship with people, business owners, businesses, and then them giving you or them working with you. Before we started KCP Commercial, myself and business partner Kristen, obviously we were working like anybody else. We were not business owners. She was a teacher. I myself just happened to be a finance and sales manager at a at a RV dealership, and life was actually great. Life was good. I could have wrote my own ticket doing what I was doing. Great people, great company, nothing bad to say at all, and I left on great terms. And I'm sure if something was to happen, I can easily go back. But right now, I think the way things are going with KCP Commercial, it's probably not going to happen. But just give you a little background of how we started. Was we were listening to a side hustle podcast, and at the time, we just listening to things. We were actually on a road trip back to Hastings, Nebraska, and listening to this guy on this podcast talk about how he was making from April to, I believe, April each year to October, making like $150,000 and $160,000 just within that time frame. And that sparked my interest. I'm like, dang, that's not even a full year. So he's talking about how he, is painting parking lots. He had school districts and churches and whatever else, Burger Kings, whatever else he had. So, I looked over to Chris and was like, dang, can we do that? So we started researching and researching. Came across, some YouTube videos of people doing it. Some guy offering a course, which we ended up we ended up taking, which ended up being some bullshit. But we'll cover that later. But we did some research and decided to pull the trigger in the summer of 2021. Just give you a little insight of what we walked away from. Like I said, she was a teacher. My income was pretty decent. I was making between $15,000 and $18,000 a month. So that was a pretty risky thing. I'm sure a lot of people there at that time, especially at the dealership, were looking at me like I was a little bit crazy. But one thing about myself, I'll always bet on myself, because I know I'll always win if I give myself the same energy, for example, that I was giving that company. And just to give you an idea, kind of what got me going was of thinking about something else was the owner. I would never forget. He had mentioned, or he was saying in a meeting or whatever, that they bought their second private jet. And I was like, dang, I helped them get that. So what if the energy that I'm giving to this other company, what if I gave that same energy to my own company? Hell, I can't lose. And that's what brought us here today. We are still, 3 years later, we are still going strong, stronger than ever, because every year we've gotten better and better. So now let's circle back to, June of 2021. Like I said, my last day was May 31st. So my first day in KCP Commercial with KCP Commercial was June 1st, officially 100%. And not to mention, that year too, if you dial it back and remember, in the winter of 2020, they had a big old freeze down in Texas, which ended up causing a huge paint shortage. Apparently, all the paint factories are in Texas, and they were not equipped to handle that type of weather. So that caused a huge paint shortage, which crippled the striping business for a good 2 years. Our first 2 years in the business, it crippled us. But I made some smart buys. I got with my Sherwin-Williams rep, and he told me, he gave me a heads up, and he said, hey, this is what's going to happen. So, I bought some stuff, bought some paint ahead of time, and we were able to actually get through, our first season with that. When we first started, though, it was not as easy as, we thought it would be. We started in June. We probably didn't get any jobs consistent jobs until August. Why is that? Well, we were bidding about 50 to 60% higher than what our market is. So for anybody that's looking to get into striping, I would definitely suggest know what your market is when it comes to bidding properties and parking lots and so on and so forth. Because if you listen to anybody else in a different market, you may come up either too short or a little bit too high, which, it won't get you any jobs, which then, it discourages you and so on and so forth. So definitely find out what that market range is for your area when it comes to bidding. So once we got that figured out, like I said, jobs just start rolling in. We started building relationships with property managers, with business owners. We teamed up with an asphalt company, and things started going the way that we thought that they would go. We did everything from small restaurants to our first 6 months in is when we painted our first Walmart, which was in Hastings, Nebraska. And that was an incredible experience. The GC on the job, he was very, very informational. He taught us a lot and helped us out, obviously for his own gains, of course, but also I genuinely think he was wanting us to win. So I definitely thank that person for this. His name is Greg. So definitely thank him for giving us that opportunity to do the Walmart with him, knowing that we were brand new. So kudos to him. So yeah, our first year was definitely a success. It started off rough, but it ended good, right? They always say it's not how you start the race, it's how you finish. So we did finish on a good note, and every year after that we have grown, if not doubled, what we've done the year before. We've been in business this is our third season. So this 2024 will be our fourth season, and we got even more bigger things that are happening for us for this upcoming season. So, like I said, this first episode, I just wanted to briefly let you guys in on some things, tell my story, as best as I could. But there's more to come, trust me. I got some content that we're going to talk about. Like I said, from the business standpoint, I love business. I'm an entrepreneur at heart. We can cover business entities, the do's and the don'ts in the striping business, the do's and the don'ts when it comes to business, period, marketing, you name it, we're going to cover it, okay? So, with all that said, I've rambled enough. Thank you for tuning in. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button at KCP Commercial. And looking forward to seeing you guys here soon, shortly. We do lines, KCP Commercial.